This is Carrie Cooper for Guitar Centre's Focus on Rock. I know what it's like to be dead. Some of the best songs in rock and roll were written during quiet, private moments of its creator, but others tell of a more obscure and amusing tale. So today we look at that track that brought together John Lennon, a sunken bathtub, actor Peter Fonda, and a whole lot of LSD. The track, the Beatles' 1965 record, She Said, She Said. Perhaps the only Beatles number Paul McCartney failed to play on, for reasons we'll explore shortly, the backstory to She Said, She Said is a session that would go down in hard partying history. It was August 1965 and the Beatles were deep in the throes of their second US tour. The British invasion was well underway. Beatlemania was at its height in America. They'd recently broken records in terms of both revenue and attendance with their Shea Stadium show. More than 55,000 people turned up to rock out to the Fab Four, with the venue taking $304,000, the greatest gross ever in the history of show business at the time, paving the way for mammoth-scale outdoor events in rock to come. So, given the frenzy surrounding the band at the time, it came as no surprise that when the group would take a few days off from the tour to rest their weary, aching bodies in a Spanish-style mansion in Beverly Hills, the crazed fans would make it their business to turn up. Brian Epstein had rented the villa for a 6-day respite, but no sooner had they arrived that the house was swarmed by press and public, some even renting helicopters to try and catch a glimpse of their idols from above. Outdoor excursions entirely ruled out, they set about inviting friends over, including help star Eleanor Bron, TV actress Peggy Lipton, folk singer Joan Baez, the full lineup of the Byrds, and actor Peter Fonda. And on the 24th of August, all except for Paul McCartney, promptly dropped some acid. Years later, Fonda would write, "I made my way past the kids and the guards. Paul and George were on the back patio and the helicopters were patrolling overhead. They were sitting at a table under an umbrella in a rather comical attempt at privacy. Soon afterwards we dropped acid and began tripping for what would prove to be all day and most of the next day. All of us, including the original Byrds, eventually ended up inside a huge empty and sunken tub in the bathroom, babbling our minds away." Despite being in the throes of an acid trip, one imagines being a somewhat sensitive time, Fonda, for some reason, deemed it a good moment to bring up his nearly fatal, self-inflicted childhood gunshot accident, much to the dismay of his fellow trippers, claiming that he knew what it's like to be dead. Lennon, unable to take the darkness of topics, snapped, "Listen mate, shut up about that stuff. You're making me feel like I've never been born." Later he explained, "We didn't want to hear about that. We were on acid and we were tripping and the sun was shining and the girls were dancing and the whole thing was really, really beautiful and 60s, and this guy who I didn't really know kept coming over wearing shades saying, 'I know what it's like to be dead,' and we kept leaving him because he was so boring." But Fonda's tale did inspire that final track that would be added to the Revolver sessions. Taking 9 hours to record, it's possibly the only Beatles track McCartney never played on, going down as one of the Beatles' great unsolved mysteries. It's thought Paul stormed out following an argument, possibly due to being teased as the only band member who wouldn't partake in LSD. Another factor of note in She Said, She Said is Ringo Starr's drum performance, the fills beautifully executed, highlighting the raw and unique approach to playing that he truly possessed. This is Carrie Cooper for Guitar Centre's Focus on Rock. You can shop for the greatest selection of music gear on earth in-store or at guitarcentre.com.